Imagine if you could uncover the secrets to becoming stronger, not physically, but mentally. What would you do if you knew the habits to avoid, the ones that hold most people back from achieving their true potential? Today, we explore Things Mentally Strong People Don't Do by Morin, a book that enlightens us about the mental traps to avoid. In this summary, we will delve into selected key points that are essential for cultivating mental strength and resilience. Are you ready to discover how transforming your mindset can lead to profound changes in how you view success, deal with hardships, and ultimately navigate life's journey? Let's uncover these transformative insights and learn to thrive by mastering our mental strength. They don't waste time feeling sorry for themselves. Jack is an elementary school student. An accident caused by a bus left both of his legs broken. The doctors assure that Jack's legs will heal completely, but until then, he will need to use a wheelchair for a few months. This situation makes his mother very sad. She constantly worries that Jack might never walk again. Despite the doctor's assurance that Jack can still attend school, his mother is reluctant to send him. Jack's mother believes that he is deeply traumatized by the accident and should stay away from school buses for now. She fears that seeing his friends play while he's in a wheelchair will make him even more depressed. Consequently, Jack stays home, spends his mornings studying a bit, and the rest of the day watching TV and playing video games. Weeks pass in this manner, and his mother notices a change in Jack. He no longer seems as active and happy as he used to be. Worried about Jack's condition, his mother takes him to a therapist. She explains that the accident has left Jack emotionally disturbed. The therapist decides to use a different approach for Jack's treatment, treating him like a normal, healthy child. She encourages Jack to write a book titled How to Beat a School Bus. Jack loves the idea and draws himself in a superhero costume, concluding that he is a strong kid who survived the accident. The therapist tells Jack's mother that there is no need to feel sorry for him because he is safe and alive with only some broken bones. Jack should be treated as a physically and mentally strong child who can face any challenge. The therapist also mentions that even if Jack doesn't fully recover, he can still do many things. Jack's mother realizes that she doesn't need to pity him. He can live a normal life. Soon after, Jack returns to school. His life becomes normal again, and he regains his happiness. Do you often feel sorry for yourself? Have you experienced something that disrupted your life? Do you feel sad and unhappy? Sometimes our troubles are not as big as our reactions make them seem. If you think of yourself as unlucky or worthless, you are only worsening your condition. Self-pity wastes your time and energy, making you feel more negative. And when you think negatively, negative things start happening to you. So what should you do? Stay active. Even if you don't feel like it, get out of bed, take a shower, clean your room, or go for a walk. Keeping yourself busy will keep your mind occupied, leaving no time for negative thoughts. If you have extra time, pick up a new hobby or read a book. You've heard the saying, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. So always stay active. Every situation has two sides, negative and positive. Try to focus on the positive side. You might be missing out on good things because you focus too much on the negative. Appreciate what you have. Thank God that you are healthy and safe, you have a roof over your head, and you get food to eat twice a day. You have a family that loves you very much. In short, the situation is not as bad as you think. Change your perspective, and you'll see the world differently. Think, if your family or friends had the same thoughts as you, what would you advise them? Would you like to see them feeling sorry for themselves? Remember the challenges you faced in life. If you overcame those problems, why not now? If you have survived before, you can survive now, and never forget to help others. Your small help can be a big support for someone. Helping others is a meaningful act. What could be more fulfilling than knowing you were of help to someone? It means your life is not a total waste. They don't focus on things they can't control. James had gone through a divorce. For 3 years, he fought in court for custody of his 7-year-old daughter. However, the judge's final decision was that the daughter would stay with her mother permanently, and James would have the right to visit her on weekends. Although James did not agree with the judge's decision, believing he was a better parent than his ex-wife, he had to accept it. James felt that his ex-wife was trying to sever his relationship with their daughter. Once, James planned to take his daughter whale watching, but his ex-wife took her whale watching before he could. This made James very angry, feeling that his ex-wife was intentionally keeping his daughter away from him. She always gave their daughter expensive gifts, threw lavish parties, and took her on luxury vacations, while James couldn't afford such things. He believed that his ex-wife was spoiling their daughter and suspected that she might be dating someone, fearing that her lover might abuse or mistreat his daughter. Seeking legal support, James approached author Amy Morin. He asked Amy to help him gain full custody of his daughter, but she couldn't do that, as the judge had already made his decision, and nothing could be done about the custody order. Moreover, James's ex-wife had made it clear that she would not negotiate on this matter any further. Amy tried to explain to James that his efforts were futile and not in the best interest of his daughter. If he continued to fight with his ex-wife, it would have a negative impact on the child. Instead, Amy advised James to focus on building a strong and loving relationship with his daughter, spending memorable time with her. By improving himself, James could positively influence his daughter. Have you ever been in a situation where you tried very hard to control it, but couldn't? You wasted your time and energy, became angrier, and ended up feeling frustrated. So what should you do in such situations? Accept what you cannot control and focus on what you can change. Believe it or not, there is no real enemy. No one can make your life miserable except yourself. If you change your behavior, your circumstances will change as well. Take the example of Terry Fox. He had a rare type of bone cancer, and as a result, one of his legs had to be amputated. He had to undergo chemotherapy for 16 months. One day, Terry read about a man who ran a marathon with an artificial leg. Terry decided to participate in a marathon as well. Although he finished last in the race, people cheered for him. This inspired Terry to start a fundraiser. He ran a marathon a day and aimed to cross all of Canada. Hoping to raise $24 million for cancer patients like himself, Terry's story reached people, and they supported him. People eagerly awaited Terry's arrival in their town. He ran for 143 days, but eventually had to be hospitalized as the cancer had spread to his lungs. Terry even appeared on TV and became popular. People donated generously to his cause. Despite being hospitalized, he managed to raise the amount he had hoped for. Unfortunately, Terry passed away a few days later. However, the Terry Fox Run continues today as an annual fundraising marathon event, helping numerous cancer patients worldwide. This story teaches us that focusing on what we can control and making a positive impact can lead to significant achievements, even in the face of adversity. They don't worry about pleasing everyone. Megan was very stressed, so she came to Amy for therapy. She told Amy that her busy schedule made her extremely exhausted. Megan is 35 years old, lives with her husband and 2 small children, and works part-time. She also teaches at a Sunday school and is a Girl Scout leader. Megan always tried to be the best wife and mother she could be, but she still wasn't satisfied. She couldn't understand why her mood often soured and why she felt so angry. During the therapy sessions, Amy understood Megan's problem. Megan was one of those people who couldn't say no to anyone. Whenever church members requested cupcakes, Megan couldn't refuse, no matter how busy she was. When Girl Scout members asked her to pick up their children from school, Megan couldn't say no. She couldn't refuse her sister, who often left her child with Megan. Megan also mentioned that helping others often made her late for home. She was so busy helping others that she couldn't take care of herself or her family. In trying to keep everyone happy, Megan was making herself unhappy. She cared a lot about her image and didn't want the church members or her sister to think of her as selfish. However, Amy helped Megan realize that it was impractical and impossible to please everyone. Gradually, Megan understood this and learned to say no. She didn't need to make excuses or explain herself, just simply saying, "No, sorry, I can't," was enough. Megan used to worry that people would be upset with her, but she learned to relax. When she refused a task, people understood her situation. Megan began spending quality time with her family without any regrets, improving her mood. She became a more caring mother and wife, and her stress seemed to disappear. Megan now cared only for those most important in her life. Do you find it difficult to say no? Do you try to please everyone? Do you want everyone to like you? Maybe you fear conflict or lack the courage to face people. Perhaps you fear rejection or being alone. Did you know that children of alcoholics tend to be people pleasers? This is likely because they believe that pleasing people will help them avoid problematic situations. A child might obey an alcoholic father's every command to avoid being hit, but the worst effect is that such children often lose their sense of self-worth in trying to keep others happy. At some point in their lives, they may regret living by others' terms rather than their own. Remember, the popular choice isn't always the right choice. You can learn something from the Craigslist story. CEO Jim Buckmaster always ensured Craigslist stayed true to its path. While many websites thrive on advertisements, Craigslist did not. The company rejected numerous offers that could have brought significant profits. Buckmaster and his team decided to keep most services free. They faced criticism for this decision, but never wavered. They were accused of being social anarchists and anti-capitalists, but didn't pay attention to these labels. Pleasing everyone wasn't their habit. They ran Craigslist the way they wanted. Because Craigslist wasn't heavily dependent on advertising, it survived the dot-com crash. Today, Craigslist remains one of the most popular websites. Buckmaster never compromised his values. Instead of trying to please everyone, he focused on his customers. They don't dwell on the past. When James Matthew Barry was only 6 years old, an accident happened in his family. James's elder brother, David, who was 13 years old, died while ice skating. James's mother was deeply shocked by her son's death. She was not able to accept that her son had died. James tried hard to ease his mother's grief. To keep his mother happy, he started behaving like David. James started wearing David's clothes and always stayed with his mother. James's mother told him that being an adult is not so easy, because adult life is full of sorrows and troubles. So to please his mother, James decided that he would never grow older than 13 years. He wanted to remain a child forever. This desire of James became so strong that his physical and mental growth actually stopped. He was very thin for his age, and his height did not increase more than 5 feet. After high school, James told his parents that he wanted to become an author, but they said, "You should finish college first," because David had done the same. James agreed, but said that he would study literature. James Matthew Barry was the author of Peter Pan, who wrote the story of a boy who never grew up. Have you ever felt like you wish you could go back in time and do what you wanted to do? Do you regret old things? Are you unable to forget the past? If this is so, then believe me, you will never be happy in the present because you will miss everything around you. and will not be able to enjoy life. This will not only affect your decision-making ability, but you will also find it very difficult to solve any present problem. Therefore, forget the old things and live today. Leave your past behind. Whatever you do, there are many things which are not in your control. Your present is in your hands, so focus on it and give your best. There are some memories which we cannot forget, so to get rid of such memories, set some new goals for yourself. If you want, you can write a happy ending of your life, forgive those who have hurt you, and move on. This next story will definitely inspire you. Ward was a poor girl from the village. Her father had physically and sexually abused her in her childhood. She used to see her mother getting beaten by her father every day, but he tolerated everything and hid this secret in his heart. She was very good in studies. When she turned 17, she ran away from home and never returned. She met a boy, and both of them got married. Both worked as truck drivers. Many years have passed. One day, he heard that his elder brother had abused his own child, and she decided at that very moment that she would end this history of abuse in her family forever. She thought deeply about this and decided that she would study again. He took up law in college and after studying very hard, got a degree. After that, she opened an organization for children victims of domestic violence. She helped poor, destitute women and children by giving them legal representation. If anyone needed social services, she would help them in that also. If someone did not have money for transport, she would come to pick him up in her truck. A lot of wrong had happened to her in her childhood, but Winona decided to forget her past and help others. He not only improved his own life, but also helped other people like him. Forgetting her past, that girl brought positive change in the lives of many abused children and gave them a better future. They don't resent other people's success. Dan lives in a village where get-togethers are common. Neighbors often dine at each other's homes and host parties. Everyone is well acquainted with each other's lives. Dan is a friendly man with a stable job, a wonderful wife, and lovely children. However, despite all this, Dan harbors a secret. He dislikes attending neighborhood gatherings. He has no interest in Michael's brand new car or Scott's big promotion. Dan resents that he can't afford expensive items or luxury vacations like his neighbors. His wife had quit her job to care for their children, which meant the family budget was always tight. Dan worked extra jobs to earn more money and had even borrowed from several people. He didn't want to accept that his financial situation was poor. He was determined to maintain a lifestyle similar to his neighbors, no matter what it took. Dan never shared his tensions with his wife, but his stress and frustration were mounting. Dan's behavior was changing. He had become short-tempered and easily angered. Eventually, he sought help from Amy Morin. Amy told him that no one was pressuring him to lead a high-end life. He was the one who wanted a lifestyle he couldn't afford. Dan admitted to Amy that he grew up in a poor family and didn't want his children to experience the same. As a child, his neighbors used to mock him for not having nice clothes or expensive toys, which hurt him deeply. However, deep down, Dan knew that family love and bonding were more important than material possessions. During the next therapy session, Dan's wife accompanied him. Dan opened up about his problems. His wife supported him fully, and together they decided not to compete with the neighbors, but to focus on their relationships instead. Do you spend a lot of time on social media and feel jealous of others' success? Do you compare your life to others? If so, this isn't a healthy habit. Remember, the less attention you pay to others' success, the more time you will have to achieve your own goals. Therefore, avoid comparing yourself to others. Instead, compete with yourself. Strive to be a better version of who you were yesterday, and then you will see your progress. There will always be someone more successful, popular, or wealthier than you, but that doesn't mean they have the same skills or qualities you do. You might not believe it, but you have something special that others don't. After all, no one is perfect in this world. If you feel deficient in some way, work on improving yourself. You can learn from this next story. Amy had a client named John who had some family issues. He would shout at his wife and children and use harsh words. He was an alcoholic and drug addict. John had been jobless for 6 months and didn't have the money to pay his bills. He constantly spoke about his problems. Anyone who tried to advise him would end up arguing with him. One day, John came to Amy's office and said, "You know, I don't like anything about myself." Amy responded, "That's actually a good thing," which shocked John. He was surprised by her response and asked, "How can you say that? You're my therapist. You're supposed to help me feel better." Amy explained, "The fact that you recognize your condition and admit that you need to change is a healthy sign. You need to improve yourself." Amy was pleased to see that John made significant changes over time. By the end of the therapy, John had made remarkable progress. He had quit drugs and alcohol and started showing more love to his wife and children. His relationships with others had also improved. If you feel jealous of others' success, it likely means you are not happy with yourself. This indicates that you are not satisfied with your life. Therefore, if you change your attitude and behavior, happiness and success will naturally follow in your life. Conclusion. As we close the chapter on Things Mentally Strong People Don't Do by Amy Morin, remember that the journey to mental strength is about more than just avoiding certain pitfalls. It's about actively shaping a life you can be proud of. It's about recognizing that while you can't control everything that happens to you, you can control how you respond. Your family and friends may be your support, but the true change starts within you. So ask yourself, are you ready to let go of the past that haunts you and embrace the future with resilience and positivity? Every day brings a new chance, a new choice. Use this opportunity to build a stronger, happier, and more resilient version of yourself. Let's not dwell on the setbacks or resent others' success, but focus on our personal growth and the relationships that matter most. The time to start is now. Today, decide to be the master of your emotions and the architect of your destiny. Step into your newfound strength and don't look back. Remember, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Things Mentally Strong People Don't Do by Amy Morin. If this summary inspired you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon for more insightful book summaries that can transform your life. Have thoughts or stories about building mental strength? Share them in the comments below. We love hearing from you. Remember, every day is a new opportunity to grow stronger and live better. Keep pushing forward, and until next time, stay strong and stay inspired.